Hello and welcome to News Cycle here on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Edikan Michael. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free-to-air at Nicomsat. President Bola Tinubu has commended the Guards Brigade of the Nigerian Army for checkmating all forms of security threats in the nation's seat of power, as well as its personal security. Mr. Tinubu, represented by the Minister of State for Defense, Bele Matola, gave the commendation at the Elite Guards West Africa social activities on Saturday in Abuja. He said that the Presidential Guard had during the year displayed exceptional commitment towards securing the seat of government, the Federal Capital Territory, and its environs. Another Nigerian Army's 34 Artillery Brigade Obinze Imo State has celebrated its annual West Africa social activities, also called WASA for 2024. The colorful event brought together dignitaries, soldiers, and community members, showcasing cultural diversity and the Army's commitment to fostering peace and unity in Imo State. We'll bring that subsequently on our bulletins. Away from that, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has called on President Bola Tinubu to direct the Code of Conduct Bureau to publish its declared assets. SERAP also urged Tinubu to encourage Vice President Kashim Shettima, ministers, state governors, and National Assembly leaders to follow suit. This was stated in a press release shared and signed by the SERAP's Deputy Director. The organization commended the President for his recent statement during its first presidential media chart, in which he indicated that he might request the Code of Conduct Bureau to release his assets. And now moving to Edo State, as Governor Monday Pablo says he will apply Senator Godswill Akpabio's developmental templates in Akwa Ibom to build a new Edo State. The governor's chief press secretary, Freddie Toa, said that Apollo gave the remarks during an event held in his honor in Ikotepene, Akwa Ibom State, where he acknowledged Akpabio's developmental strides in Akwa Ibom State as governor between 2007 and 2015. He said that he will ensure the same method is used in transforming and repositioning Edo State. The governor noted that the president of the Senate not only achieved so much in terms of legislation within a short time, but also succeeded in leading a well-coordinated legislative arm that complements and serves to appropriately check and balance the executive for the good of Nigerians. Now, the House of Representatives is considering a bill to separate the offices of the Attorney General of the Federation from that of the Minister of Justice. Offices of the Attorney General of the State will also be separated from the Commission of Justice if the bill scales through. And this bill is seeking alteration to Section 150 of the 1999 Constitution as amended with the introduction of subsection 1 to read that there shall be an Attorney General of the Federation who shall be the Chief Law Officer of the Federation, different from the person who occupies the position of the Minister of Justice, to be appointed by the President, subject to the confirmation of the Senate. The African Export-Import Bank says it has intensified its push for greater empowerment opportunities for African youth, emphasizing that the continent's future and relevance in global socio-economic discussions depend on its young population. The bank's president, Benedict Oramo, led the session at the 5th edition of the Youth Summit held in Abuja. In a statement released by the bank, it stated that the youth representatives from 91 countries, government officials, development partners, including the Development Bank of Africa and African Export-Import Bank, and all the stakeholders participated in the summit. Now, 6 months after the Supreme Court granted financial autonomy to local government in the country, the implementation of the judgment has yet to take effect. On July 11, 2024, the Supreme Court delivered a landmark judgment affirming the financial autonomy of the 774 local government areas in the country and prohibiting governors from further control of funds meant for the councils. The Apex Court also directed the Accountant General of the Federation to pay local government allocations directly to the accounts, declaring the non-remittance of funds by the 36 states unconstitutional. However, 6 months after the judgment, financial autonomy has yet to take effect in the country. Moving through all the details of the news, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control says it destroyed over 120 billion naira worth of seized products between July and December 2024 across the 6 geopolitical zones and the Federal Capital Territory. The agency also reassured Nigerians that measures are in place to safeguard their health before, during, and after the Unitide season. This was disclosed in the Unitide message from the agency's Director General, Professor Mijosola Adeyeye, as contained in a statement signed by the agency's resident media consultant, Tayo Akintola. She emphasized the importance of eating safely during the festive period and advised Nigerians to purchase food and drinks from outlets within identifiable addresses to facilitate the agency's tracking processes. The General Officer commanding the 3 Division and Commander of Operations, Serve Haven Major General Air Bobakar, has officially unveiled the Marija Building Labaja Recreational Park in Jos, Plateau State on Saturday. In a statement on the Nigerian Army website, noted that the park is named in honor of the immediate past president of the Nigerian Army Officers' Wife Association, Naowa Maria Labaja, recognizing her outstanding contributions to the welfare of officers, soldiers and their families, particularly within the 3 Division. Located at the Maxwell Kobe Cantonment in Jos, the park reportedly boasts an impressive array of attractions designed to enhance the quality of life for members of the barracks community. Now, the Central Bank of Nigeria has raised concerns about the aging pipeline infrastructure and operational inefficiencies, identifying them the key factors responsible for the decline in the oil revenue during the 3rd quarter of 2024, as a result of which it says it doubts the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited's projection of hitting daily 2 million barrels per day of production. Now, the Apex Bank, in the latest economy report, disclosed that the oil revenue plunged by 24.72% to 1.30 trillion naira compared to the 1.73 trillion recorded in the 2nd quarter of the year. This figure also fell significantly short of the quarterly target by 75.39%, largely due to frequent shutdowns caused by the deteriorating pipelines and installations. The CBN report, however, warned that Nigeria's goals of achieving an oil production target of 2 million barrels per day by the end of 2024 remains under threat unless urgent measures are taken to address infrastructure and operational challenges. Meanwhile, residents of border communities in Sokoto have dismissed allegations of the presence of the French army in the area. This comes after the head of the military junta in the Niger Republic, in a recently circulated video, accused President Bola Tinubu and some members of his administration of colluding with the French army to attack Niger. A report, however, confirmed that allegations were baseless. Speaking to newsmen at his palace, the traditional ruler of Balingo, the local government area of Sokoto State, Amin Aliyu, denied the existence of any foreign military camp in his territory. Just in a related development, Niger's President Tijani is reportedly facing a backlash of criticism from his fellow countrymen following his recent allegation of a conspiracy by the Nigeria against his country. This comes as many Nigerian citizens reacted to the president's allegations on social media, to Tijani saying that there is no credibility whatsoever on the allegations. Some of them have the view that the Nigerian leader was not only looking for an excuse to hang his fellow in office, but for 17 months of outstanding his predecessor in the palace school. I will now take a look as we now turn our attention now to Delta State, where a traditional ruler of Ogwashi Okoro Kingdom Obi has called on communities to respect court judgment concerning the disputed lands. The monarch made this statement and signed by the palace secretary Prince Ifa Kanachuku and made available to journalists in Asaba, the Delta State capital. The youths from the community in Onitsha local government area of the state had staged a protest alleging land grabbing. And the youth president claimed that Ogwaji Oku Kingdom had unlawfully taken community land. Watching the news cycle here on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, when news cycle returns, larger budget deficit could depreciate Naira as stock prices. We'll follow the money for you as well as bring foreign and sports stories right after this break. Please stay with us. Welcome back to the rest of the news cycle. Now to business news. The Minister of Power, Adebayo, has stated that the increasing incident of vandalism targeting critical power transmission equipment has hindered the achievement of the ambitious goal to generate 6,000 megawatts of electricity by December 2024. He explained that the government had implemented measures to reach the milestone and was on track until multiple incidents of vandalism to electricity towers disrupted the plan. The Special Advisor on Strategic Communication and Media Relations, Bolaji Tunji, revealed these when asked about the reasons behind the failed projections. Now, Nigeria's power generation currently ranges between 4,000 megawatts and 4,900 megawatts from the 19 power generation plants serving a population of approximately 200 million people. Our Fitch Ratings, an international credit rating agency, says that Nigeria must stay true with its 13 trillion naira budget deficit. Its larger deficit may further depreciate the naira, the stock inflation, and result in a prolonged tightening cycle. Fitch, in an assessment of the country, said that while the nation's credit profile has increased due to the various reforms introduced by the government last year, challenges persist, especially from the fiscal authorities. He noted that though the government's recent 2025 to 2027 medium-term expenditure framework set plans to narrow the budget deficit more sharply than had been expected, assumption of oil prices and production were more optimistic than the Fitch. About on the business news, the financial analyst Charles Uyera says that the excessive reliance on cash settlement in Nigeria's economy is a significant driver of our high core inflation. The challenges posed by the cash-based transactions and inefficiency at both federal and state levels. She pointed the excessive cash transactions as a major contributor to Nigeria's inflation wars, emphasizing that the disconnect between monetary policy and the real-time economic activities. Our senior members of Canada's cabinet held talks with United States President-elect Donald Trump's nominees to lead the Department of Commerce and Interior as Ottawa works to hold off the threat of punishing and the tariffs. And our Canada's newly appointed Finance Minister Dominic LeBlanc and the Foreign Minister Melanie Joly met with Howard Trump's Commerce Secretary nominee, who will also lead the country's tariff and trade agenda. Our Interior Secretary nominee was also part of the meeting held at the Trump's Lago Estate in Florida. At the first scene, the United States President-elect Donald Trump expressed his support for the HIV visa program, aligning with the Tesla's and SpaceX CEO Elon Musk in a public dispute over skilled immigrant workers. The statement marks a significant shift in tone from Trump's previous stance on the issue, as he had moved to limit the visa's use during the first presidency. As Trump reportedly reaffirmed his belief in the value of the program, describing it as a great program that has had utilized extensively in his business. Several people were killed on Sunday when a passenger jet crash landed on an airport in the southwestern South Korea, with the aircraft carrying down the runway on its belly before bursting into flames. At least 122 people have been confirmed dead so far, according to the local fire department. 2 people, both crew members, were pulled alive from the crash site. Our rescuers have warned that there is a little hope of finding further survivors. It is the deadliest aviation disaster to hit South Korea since 1997, when a Korean Airlines Boeing 747 crashed in the Guam's jungle with loss of 228 lives. Footage of the crash broadcast by the multiple South Korean news outlets show that the plane's sideline on its belly at a high speed, hitting an Manhattan embankment and erupting in a fireball. Now, authorities have said that the death toll after a bridge collapse in the northern Brazil has increased to 10. The Josilio, which connects the state of the Maranhão to Chinese, collapsed on Sunday, sending vehicles and their occupants plunging into the water below. The Brazilian Navy had been conducting rescues in the area, finding an additional body 6 kilometers 3.7 miles from the accident site and a second victim in the river. Now, more than 70 rescuers continue the search nearly a week after the collapse due on using the Ivory chamber to allow drivers to search a depth of more than 30 meters. Now, moving from there to sport news, Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola is maintaining his composure despite the team's challenging run of result, insisting his side will turn things around. City were held to a 1-1 draw by Everton on Boxing Day at Etihad despite dominating much of the game. In the wake of just one win from their last 13 matches, Guardiola remains defiant, saying that Manchester City will be back, he declared confidently. Guardiola's remarks were part of a statement on the club's website titled "Guardiola is determined to change the dynamics." And although rest for the weary has match day 18 fades into memory, match day 19 is here to steal the spotlight. Boxing Day delivered its share of drama, with Chelsea and Manchester United suffering defeat and Manchester City managing only a draw. However, the fixtures that have followed left much to be desired. Now with the new year fast approaching, the stage is set for the high-stakes battles at both ends of the Premier League table. From little races to the relegation, and now this round of matches could significantly reshape the Premier League's standings. And as dive what promises to be an exciting weekend of football. About the world of sport, Trent Alexander-Arnold is reportedly inching closer to the Bernabeu as the Liverpool right back continues to ignore contract offers to push a move to Real Madrid. The defender has been on the red since 2004, breaking into the first team in 2016 and quickly becoming a fan favorite within its prime point crosses and danger set pieces. Since then, Alexander-Arnold has won the lot, lifting the Champions League trophy in 2019 and the Premier League title a year later, as well as picking up an FA Cup and 2 League Cups. And as a package of Global TV News Cycle, a quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, StarTimes channel 276, and free to air. And I can kindly follow us across social media platform at Global TV NG. On behalf of the entire production team, we say thank you for joining us on News Cycle. We'll now read back to the rest of the program here on Global TV.